This is my husband.
My parents broke up when I was young. Even though you know it's not right, you still cling on, wonder if they'd ever get back together one day. Yeah. Wishful thinking.
If the mother of your children calls you and says, oh, my boiler's broken, you go and fix the boiler.
Do you?
I can't be doing all your odd jobs around the house. Like, that privilege is gone now that we've broken up. For a woman to be like having another life.
I come second.
Yeah. Come on. No woman in a marriage or a relationship wants to ever come second.
No. Scylla would be fuming right now. You'd be getting it in the neck if Scylla was here.
Scylla would be like, the mother and the father are the foundation of the family.
I do not want to see her bring my kids home. Or next time.
Well, come get your kids then.
If you can't bring your kids home.
come get your kids.
No, if you can't bring them home, you're not seeing them. I'm not having her turn up my doorstep. She's all sorry. She's just like undressing him with her eyes. Okay, well, shall we all leave?
If the relationship is toxic, you're going to miss out on those things, and you have to almost prepare yourself for disappointment. We have to normalize this, especially with new parents and younger parents. Like, when do you have space to actually discuss things like this? You know, and this is why this platform's so amazing. You guys do such an amazing job. So
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hi guys, I'm Kate Ferdinand and this is the podcast Blended, where we talk about the highs, the lows and everything in between in regards to a blended family. I'm here today with a very happy co-host Nathalie and a special guest co-host. Do you want to intro him, Nats?
This is my husband. Sayce. I'm obsessed.
They're very lovey-dovey. I can feel the romance in the room, and Nat's a little bit giddy and excited.
I am. I'm very giddy. I'm overheating. I'm so excited that it's here. So I need to.
No, honestly, you two are so cute.
Oh, thank you.
Very, very cute. So listen, for anyone that hasn't watched the previous episodes, can you tell us a little bit about you or your family, your blended family?
Yeah, do you wanna talk?
Yeah, I mean, we've been together 4 years this month, so which is unreal. Feels like, not in a bad way, feels like a lot longer in the sense that we've done a lot in the for 4 years. And I have a son from a previous relationship, Cameron, so our son Cameron. He'll be 19 this month. So yeah, it's been a beautiful 4 years. He's been living with us for the last 3 years. So 3 years now.
Yeah.
Can't believe that. So it's been
our beautifully blended family.
Exactly that.
She's all sorry. She's just like undressing him with her eyes. Like our beautiful blended family. Okay, well, shall we all leave the room?
I'm getting hot now.
Anyway, how are you guys? No, hang on, wait. Rewind. We've got to rewind
we have
a
to
minute.
Rewind.
Guys, we've got to share this story with you. So I had a little lovely...
Stitch.
My agents organised a lovely meal for me, just a little celebration dinner, which was for females only. Nats was invited, of course. And she brought Sayce.
Right, can you explain? Let me
explain
explain something. So, Janine...
Oh, wow.
Janine's over there. She's our producer, by the way.
Janine sent me the invite. She said, Kate would like to invite you and Scylla to her dinner. Wonderful. So me, being quite a newly married person, I just assume if you invite me, then my husband's invited, right? Unless you tell me explicitly. So then when I confirmed, I was like, yeah, we'll be there. So obviously Janine thought I was confirming for Scylla and I wasn't. I was confirming for me and Sayce.
Nah, mate,
and
stitch
then
me up.
we just rocked up and it was just a room full of beautiful, glamorous women.
All dressed up.
With my husband. And it's so funny because afterwards Kate was like, oh, when you guys walked in, we just thought, oh, that's sweet. He's walking her in. And then he sat down. And then we're like, oh, I think we got a problem.
I was panicking because you know, Sayce, you look lovely, you were dressed up.
I know, I was like, making an effort.
You made
an effort. And then I'm like, what is this? Where's the rest of the guys? When they get in here?
We did have a debrief outside.
Yeah, they did.
We had a quick, I said, like, what are we going to do? Because I love him and he looks so lovely and I just don't know what to say.
I'm surprised you didn't tell me, like...
No, I just had to gather myself. But actually,
it all worked
out because the boys were having a little do down the road and you went to that.
Yeah.
So
lovely.
Yeah. I just kind of looked, when like half the room went outside, I looked around, I was like, think I've made a mistake,
I was ready to go.
Yeah.
Then I got in the car and I was like, is Rio expecting me? Like, I don't just want to roll up and it's a private
he's like,
dinner.
I'm just going to eat in the car, babe.
He's just like gate crashing loads of
I
events
know, right?
in one night.
I'm that guy.
But then you got there and your mate was there and
Yeah.
you had a nice evening.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So you are invited today.
Yeah. Thank you.
You are invited.
Janine, can I confirm?
But I bought 2 odd pairs of shoes. So that's the kind of week I'm having.
Yeah, you are. You're
on
not
point.
thinking straight.
I'm not thinking straight.
But you're looking good.
Thank you. So are you, babe.
And the energy is good. So. Also, sorry, I've just got to add this, and this needs to be added into this episode. We did take a photo of Sayce with all the women before he left, and that needs to be put in this episode. It's like Sayce and his girls.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, too funny.
Okay, should we get into this dilemma then, guys?
Let's get into it.
I've been with my partner for 2 years now. He's an amazing dad to his 2 kids, aged 6 and 8. Before I came along, he and his ex have been co-parenting for 2 years as single parents. Lately, it's started to feel like he's still in a relationship with her, just without the romance. He's constantly doing things for her, helping her move house, picking her up, and even loaning her money. And when I try to raise it, he says he's just being a good dad, because when she's stable, the kids are happy. And I do get that to a point, but where do you draw the line? It's really starting to affect our relationship. I don't feel like he's fully present in our life, and it feels like her needs still come first. I'm not trying to come between him and his co-parenting responsibilities, but I also don't want to be in a relationship where I feel like the other woman. How do you even start that conversation without sounding petty or jealous?
Mm-hmm.
Communication. It sounds like from the dilemma in her words that she has tried to raise it and he comes back with the same response. I'm just being a good dad, which kind of shuts down the communication channels, whereby now she's thinking, how do I approach this in a different way? And I think that she needs to communicate, one, how she feels, but also why communication is important in this moment to reinforce how she wants to feel in this moment. I think that's the crucial part of this here. So I would say that she needs to understand that also how difficult it might be for her partner in terms of doing things that he's already been used to doing and supporting the family, but she needs to express how she feels. And by expressing how she feels and saying, right, let's now try and find solutions together and let's communicate, I think that will allow them to actually start to understand how each other feel and how they can actually co-parent from their perspective, as a new partner, and also support his ex to some degree. So I would say that communication seems to be the major issue here, because it seems like from the male perspective, and as males do sometimes, we just shut it down. I'm just doing my job. This is what I should be doing. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't really allow for her to express how she truly feels in that moment, and she might feel disempowered. So yeah, communication.
Yeah, so I've got quite a strong opinion on this, even though I don't have a baby father. But I think that men have a duty to their families, to the mother of their children and to their children, of course, after a relationship has ended. And I think that duty is really important to maintain. And while I can understand and empathise with maybe her feeling like an outsider and there being work that they can do around communication and making her feel included, if the mother of your children calls you and says, oh, my boiler's broken, you go and fix the boiler.
Do you?
It's nobody else's responsibility. Your children are in that house and they don't have hot water. That's your responsibility.
I don't know if it is.
Timing, it depends.
It could be 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, nah, come on, you got British Gas, just give him a call. Like, that's not...
I agree. I think why...
But
sorry.
If all else has failed, right, the first person that you should be calling...
It's British Gas.
Yeah, exactly. If all else
fails. The
fails.
person that fixes the boiler.
Okay, the person that fixes the boiler. Maybe that's a bad example.
So where does it stop then?
But...
Oh, they're sick. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. Can you come round?
To do what, though?
To tend to your child.
Could you go to the 24-hour chemist and grab some Calpol and bring it to the house? It's 3 a.m. Yes, I can. Because my child isn't well. Who else are you going to call? You're going to call your mate? You're going to call your dad? No,
I don't know
the
this
father
one.
Of your children.
I love your...
Why have you got Calpol already? That's the question I'm asking.
So because you're disorganised, I've got to get my free to go and get Calpol.
Yeah.
Have a stock cupboard.
Yeah.
I'm all for, I think the man should be present and do what he can.
Yeah.
As a dad. That's what you... Listen, You've done the deed. You've got to look after the children. But Calpol at 3 a.m, should you be more organised as a parent? Where is the line drawn? Sorry. Like, I think there's in regards to like the boiler as an example, ring British Gas. You got a problem with the car, ring the mechanic. Ring AA. And then it's in emergencies or in different times of like emotional turmoil that last minute calls, or if you've got no other option. But if I can utilise all those people, why can't you? That's how I feel.
So I would say like emotional turmoil, I feel like that is a boundary that you should enforce. Like, we've broken up, we're no longer in a relationship. If you're feeling emotional and you need some emotional support, then turn to your friends, turn to your family. But practical things, you're still a team. Like, you don't stop being a team because you're not romantically involved. Do you know what I mean?
It's a team with limits.
Yeah,
it's a team with limitations, like, without doubt. Because I know from people that I've known that have broken up with their partners, and there could be elements of guilt, you know, whether they were at fault or whatever it may be, then they go over and above because they're trying to get back in. Yeah. So if you're now in a relationship and you get a call at 3 a.m. in the morning and you're like, okay, I've got to go and get Calpol. Imagine how you would feel in that moment.
I'd be like, I'm coming.
Okay, cool. You say you're coming, but then it happens again the next week and the week after that. And there's so many different reasons.
I'm like,
then you get to a
I've
point.
bought a crate of Calpol.
So you're already putting boundaries in place. So therefore you have to figure out what that boundary is together. And that's what I'm saying. You have to communicate.
I get that. Like, say for instance, okay, we're like, why isn't a stock cupboard full of Calpol? Like, maybe she's a bit disorganized. Maybe she needs that extra support, right? And as a team, that's how you come together and you're like, do you know what? The mother of my kids, she's a little bit all over the place. Let me call her and see, like, is there food for the month? Do we need to do a Costco run? I don't think those things should stop.
That's different. That's fine. I don't really disagree with that. But what I'm saying to you is the boundary where you're calling. Once you start calling for certain things, you're going to call for everything. And as I said, like, if you can't, as a man, you can't say in that situation, no, I'm not willing to do this. I'm going to do this instead. You have to set those boundaries, because as a man, you have to have that respect. You have to garner that respect by having those boundaries. If you don't have boundaries, you're not going to get the respect. Guaranteed.
It's crazy, isn't it? That boundaries seem difficult, but they do bring respect along the way. It's the same with children. They're difficult to implement, but in the long run, they're the best for the relationship. It's a hard one of knowing what line is too far. Do you see what I mean?
If it's hospital, like, cool, you got to be there 3 a.m. I understand. I've been there, you know, done that, and I've seen other men do that. That's cool, but you're building a new life.
What about like decorating?
No, come on.
No?
No.
Oh my gosh.
No. You're going to be doing all the odd jobs. Can you come and mow the lawn? Like, I've got to work. If I don't work, I've got to provide for the children, and a byproduct is you. But I can't be doing all your odd jobs around the house. Like, that privilege is gone now that we've broken up.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. That's interesting. And interestingly as well, what that made me think about is, what about when your partner moves on and there's a new man in the house? Right. And you're no longer required. And
then what does that do to your emotions? Because you haven't set those boundaries, you haven't prepared yourself for that moment. Then that's elements of jealousy now that's coming into play, or from the male's perspective, and then also from your partner's perspective.
Yeah, because why are you jealous of her new partner?
Forget that. That's not. But it's about feelings. I think, how you said, approaching a conversation, it's about saying how I feel, because you can never be wrong for how you feel. Express how I feel in that moment and say, I feel this way and I feel uncomfortable. Hopefully, you can then start a conversation around tending to that emotion and saying, how can I allay your fears or support you in this moment and make you feel a little bit better in this situation? And I think that's the best angle of approach, personally, because you can never be wrong for how you feel. You can be wrong for how you think, but for how you feel, I can't dictate how you feel, you know, in that moment. And you have to be able to express that and create a safe space for your partner, your wife, whoever it is in that moment.
Yeah, he's a good man, isn't he?
He's a good man.
I'm trying.
The only thing is, right, okay, how about this? We're tight for cash. British Gas costs, I don't know, 100 quid to call out.
Yeah.
You're going to foot in the bill. You're tight for cash. His response is, yeah, but I'm going to have to pay for it anyway. Why do I not just go around and do it? But then he's constantly going round to his partner's house and doing stuff. What do we do then?
How would you feel? Put yourself in that situation.
If I was really secure, then I think I'd feel fine. If my husband or partner was like just a little bit of a playboy and, you know, leaving the room to take calls, phone face down, all those little...
Red flag.
All those red flags, then I would absolutely feel out of sorts. But saying that, I would also probably be quite vigilant of how she behaves. or how he, you know, depending if it's a man or woman, how the other party behaves around my partner. Like, are they always coming up dressed up to the nines? Like, you know, applying lip gloss before they're getting out of the car. Like, who are you trying to impress? Calm down. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's so many different factors at play.
Me, that's what I'm saying.
However, all of those factors are secondary to the well-being and the you know, comfort, safety, even abundance of the children. Like, nobody should be doing the bare minimum for their kids. Nobody.
Yeah.
You should be doing the absolute most to make sure that your kids are happy, healthy, well looked after.
Yeah. But then think about the dynamic. There's obviously time that the father's going to have with the children at his house and his location. So therefore, that offsets to some degree. Like, that's your time. I can't then get a call on a Wednesday night saying, oh, you know, Archie needs to go to sleep.
Archie.
Can you come down? You need to come down.
Archie's our cameraman, by the way.
Little Archie.
And can you come and read him a story? You know, like, and I think depends on the age. There's 6 and 8 as well. So the formative years is important as well, that you do have as much contact time as possible. But you also got to have that time separate from that situation, because the children also need to understand to some degree that mum and dad are not together.
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, like this could be confusing for the kids.
Right.
Dad's always around. I thought you were separated. We see you separately, but you keep coming round, shopping, this. What's going on? Although initially it's much harder for the children when you break up. Having them round, drip feeding all the time will be confusing, that you're going to cling on to hope.
Yeah.
Like, my parents broke up when I was young. Even though you know it's not right, you still cling on, I wonder if they'd ever get back together one day.
Yeah.
And all that little popping round might give you little signs that maybe it's going to happen. Wishful thinking.
True.
You know, the calls as well. Like, imagine, you know, she's calling and like having a conversation. Like, yeah, I just wanted to catch up. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's got to be a boundary. Like, we don't have that type of relationship now. We could talk about the children, fine. But other than that, outside of small talk and idle chit chat, like, oh, how are you? How's things? How's the missus? Yeah, all good. Okay, children. That's it.
Yeah. Like, even if you could quite naturally and easily just fall into chit chat conversation, would you kind of just take a step back from that just to make sure that those boundaries are really clear?
For personal experience, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, without doubt. As I said, I've seen men go through this as well. And I've seen men that are being those playboys and doing the things that they shouldn't be doing and creating insecurities in the women. And that's not right.
Yeah.
So it does go both ways. But I would say, yeah, these boundaries are so important. As I said, the long game is that you want to have the best possible relationship with your child, which is paramount.
Yeah.
And a byproduct of that is having the best possible relationship, co-parenting relationship with your ex-partner.
One scenario that I've seen come up a lot with different people is the staying over at Christmas.
Nah, no way.
Going over and stay, because my kids want to see me when they wake up in the morning.
You've got FaceTime for that.
Right?
No.
Kate is not. Kate is not even entertaining it.
Sorry. Rewinds. I just need to get my head around this.
Yeah.
So he's there with his new partner in the morning, and he stays over there on his own.
He stays over with the children and the mum. I've seen this in like maybe three or four different incidents of this over the years, where they've stayed at the mother of their children's house on Christmas Eve so that the kids wake up to see them on Christmas Day.
But based on your rhetoric, what you just said, if you feel comfortable,
it's
by all
fine.
means, you've got to go
We're
above
all
and beyond.
staying.
But we're all
You're
staying.
not
It's
invited.
we.
Well, then you're not going.
Because the thing is, big moments as parents, you don't want to miss out on. Like Christmas is massive, and you only get a certain amount of Christmases where the children are really excited and staying young, and you know, like that feeling that goes by the time they're like 14 really, or 13, 14. So I understand you don't want to miss that. However, it's blurred lines, isn't it?
You've got to be realistic. You're going to miss out on some of these big, you know, events you're going to because you're not together. Like, because if you're building a life with somebody else, there are some situations where you might be on holiday, you might have to work, whatever it may be, but you've got to have patience for yourself to understand that you're going to miss out on certain things, and certain things that you might do together as a family are not always going to be possible. And by preparing yourself for that, you prevent yourself from dealing with it in an emotionally dysregulated way. Because I've personally seen this especially for men who are not included in decisions, whether a child needs to move school. You know, these are kind of things, some of the things that you might miss out on, especially if the relationship is toxic. You're going to miss out on those things, and you have to almost prepare yourself for disappointment. But when you do have those conversations with your children, you have to be honest in those moments as best as you can, you know, especially as they get older. But you've got to address those situations and explain to them why potentially I wasn't here, or I wasn't there on Christmas Day, or wasn't there for your birthday in the morning, but in the evening, you're going to have time with me. Having those clear boundaries and having a clear plan is so important, because you don't want to disappoint your children in those moments. I would rather disappoint the parent of my children than my children.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
It really does. But how hard is that? That must be really hard to get your head around, that you're no longer going to be at all of these events that mean a lot to you, and you have to take a back seat. That takes like a lot of strength to just say, I've got to play the long game. Yeah,
it does. It does. It's something that is hard to comprehend, especially if you're used to seeing your child every single day, waking up in the morning, and then you break up and then you're seeing your child every 2 weeks. Like, people don't have those discussions with men, especially around how do you feel around that, because those emotions are not really relevant in all that's going on. But men have to deal with this in different ways. And I've seen men, you know, turn to substance misuse or being promiscuous or whatever it is to try and cope in those situations. And it's so tough, because emotionally, you're not in a position where you've practiced that emotional regulation or that emotional intelligence. And now you're not seeing your child for 2 weeks. No one actually checks in. No one says to you, how are you feeling?
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's interesting from this perspective. Sometimes we always think about the woman, she's a single mum, she's really busy. How is she coping on her own? I haven't often thought about how is the man coping without seeing his children every day. Like, for example, even today, Rio, really busy, just rushing around in the morning, seeing him before he goes to work. Won't see him for 3 or 4 days. But without that little bit of interaction in the morning that isn't planned, it must be really difficult. Work schedules, you know, your own life. How do you cope with that?
Your network, you know, it's important to have the right people around you in terms of friendship circles, and also friends that are aligned with where you are in your life, whether they've got families or whether they're playing that single life. It doesn't correlate. You know, when you break up with the parent of your child, some men will be like, oh, right, I'm free. You know, I'm out there, I can enjoy my life again, free of responsibilities. But for some men, it's like, I don't know what to do with myself, because all I know is this family unit. And now I have to find time and fill time that I don't see my children. Yes, I can FaceTime them, whatever, but I'm not physically there. And that, some men they don't cope.
It's interesting you said free of responsibilities when they've broken up, but you're still a father, you're still a parent, you still have all of those responsibilities. But maybe men, because often that's not the primary home for the children, have that shift in perspective that like, oh, well, back to my old ways.
Yeah.
And women, without being stereotypical, do take on more of the general load of organising, making sure that everything runs in line and runs smooth for the household. So,
they do. They do. And that's where the communication is key, and having a strategy. How are we actually co-parenting, so that we both understand what our expectations are of each other, and from the children's perspective, what are we doing, and what are we actually going to, you know, double down on and say, right, we're a united front in this you know, angle, whether it's school or whether it's, you know, sport or whatever it is that's for the benefit of the children. But you have to have a strategy. And for that, you have to have a level of communication that is going to be conducive to allow you to make those decisions together, but also bring others into that. So it's not messy. Because if it's messy, all you're going to do is back your partner. And then sometimes that can skew the situation because you're like, oh, forget her, you know, not doing that, you're not doing this. And some men actually don't do things for their children because of their new partner.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that is wild.
Yes.
That is mad.
It's about having it's hard because you want a supportive partner.
Yeah.
But there also has to be boundaries. So this woman's saying, am I jealous? How do I do this without seeming petty or jealous? I think it's natural to feel a slight bit of jealousy.
Yeah.
The person you love has got a relationship with another woman, not a romantic one, but it has been romantic in the past. It's natural to feel bits of jealousy. I think you've got to be pretty inhumane to not feel that at certain times of your life.
Yeah.
But how do you implement that without coming across as petty or jealous? I suppose just letting him know that it's actually not about you I don't want you to stop contact.
Yeah.
I want you to be a great dad.
Yeah.
I want you to do as much as you possibly can, but there needs to be a level to this.
Yeah, I'd love to be more involved. It sounds like she feels like an outsider and she wants to be more involved in the decision making. Yeah. And I feel like that in itself would be so empowering, and like he would be sending such a clear message to her that you're valued, your opinion is valued, and you're also part of this family. You're not outside of it, you're part of it. Especially
in your environment.
Yeah.
But again, there has to be limitations on that too.
Really?
And there has to be, because you can't dictate. Sometimes you're going to, as a father in that situation, you're going to have to make decisions which your partner may not understand or agree with in that moment. So you have to be like, look, this is what I'm saying I would like to do. This is my rationale. You may not feel it's the right thing to do, but these are my children and I know the situation and I want you to trust me in this moment.
Well,
that is
hard,
also
isn't it?
That is also crucial.
It's making me feel like on a personal level, like there's just this whole part of life that I haven't experienced or had to deal with. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
And also it's making me feel like you have always going to have this other life.
Yeah.
And as much as I'm your wife and you love me, you're actually going to do what you think's best anyway, despite me sitting here.
That's the worst thing, I think.
That is hard.
For a woman to be like having another life.
I come second.
Yeah.
Come on. No woman in a marriage or a relationship wants to ever come second.
No.
So that's going to be a recipe for disaster straight off the bat. So sometimes you can't win. For me, the most important thing as a father is my child.
I agree that the children might like the kids are really important, but what about your wife as well? Like
who came first?
What would Scylla say?
Scylla would be fuming right now. You'd be getting it in the neck if Scylla was here.
Scylla would be like, the mother and the father are the foundation of the family. Yes,
but also you've got to understand that your children are going to hold you accountable for the things you do and don't do. And you're going to have to deal with that. Whether you're in that relationship or not down the line, you're going to have to deal with that.
I think I'm thinking as a wife now. I'm not thinking as a mum.
Yeah.
I'm thinking as your new wife. Sorry, I'm making it about you. How fucking dare you? No, sorry. I'm thinking as a wife. And my insecurity, they're bubbling. My insecurities are bubbling right now. Like, this isn't even me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that must be very difficult for a woman in this position to just take a back seat all the time. I'm a bit, maybe... I personally would find it really difficult because I want to be involved in everything. Yeah. Like I want to love your kids. Yeah. I want to be part of it. This is your family. I want them to love me. I want to create something. To be able to have to step back and just watch it all unfold, I would find that difficult. At times.
I'm not saying that obviously everything requires balance. What I'm saying is that in those moments of balance, that you have to be understanding as the partner that how difficult this must be for you in certain times, in certain situations, you know, and you have to put yourself outside of your own, you know, feelings and thoughts, and you know, you have to do that. And as a partner, you have to say that I may not agree with this, but the ultimate thing for me is that you are a good father.
Yes. Yeah. And we respect that.
Yes.
Yeah. To be honest with you, actually, there's lots of things that I would do or we have done that I don't really agree with, but are best for the kids.
Yeah.
It's not really my preference.
It's not about you,
but we've got to do what is best for the children.
That's
so you have to put your feelings aside.
Yeah.
I think, and it's down to communication.
Definitely.
If you two are talking about that as a couple, and as the wife, you feel like you're in the loop with it, and you're part of the decision making, I think that's easier.
That is the most important thing.
I think as well, and I don't know, maybe this is naive, right? But I think also...
It is, I'm talking.
Relax. I think also, like, why can't you be part of the tasks, the duties? Oh, I need to go pick up the boys. Oh, I'll pick them up. Like, why not? Do you know what I mean?
In a beautiful, ideal world, that is great.
I'm quite idealistic.
But it doesn't quite work like that.
That's not the experience that you had, but there are...
I'm not talking about me in particular. I'm talking about in general. It doesn't quite work like that.
And I think that we can maybe just explore shifting our perspectives on how things are done, right? Because I'm thinking of like polygamous relationships, right. The families truly are like intertwined, and and the children might stay at one another's, you know, they might stay with one of your father's wives, for example. And
sounds mad.
And it's normalized because within those cultures, it's just the done thing, right?
Yeah.
And there's still, you know, issues that come up around jealousy, and, you know, one wife might have more of a higher standing than the other wives. There's usually, I hear, like a lead, like a head wife, right?
Yeah.
But they all work together for the betterment of everyone,
For the
right?
village.
For the
That's it,
village,
yeah.
for the children, etc. And it's like, I'm not saying that we have to behave just like that, but I'm saying if she feels like an outsider, there's no reason why she can't be part of
And add value.
add value.
Yeah.
But there is, if the mum is not having it.
Well, if I don't add value, neither of us add value. Like, you don't get to control our marriage. If you want us to be a supportive, you know, blended family, then we both show up.
But does she have say over, right, the husband can't make the drop, the new partner can,
Yeah.
and the mum says, no, I don't want to bring my kids home.
Which would likely happen in situations
that would
I've
happen.
heard. Yeah.
I do not want to see her bring my kids home. Or next time,
Well, come get your kids then.
if you can't bring your kids home,
Come get your kids.
no, if you can't bring them home, you're not seeing them. I'm not having her turn off my doorstep.
But then again, boundaries. Literally, you're going to tell me to do that, then that means then can they stay with me on weekends? Can't have it both ways.
Yeah,
okay.
And that comes down to control. That's like, it's an unreasonable demand. It's your ego. It's got nothing to do with the welfare of the children. It's got nothing to do with the convenience of this situation. It's purely because your jealousy, your ego. Like, I get it if there's been beef, you know, if there's, she might have been the woman that you cheated with, like all of that you may have to navigate. But if it's just simply, no, I don't want her to, you must, that comes down to like control, and that then gets quite insidious, I think.
Do you know what? It does, and you are right, and it is controlling. But also then I put myself in the shoes and I think, right, my husband has had an affair, I'm heartbroken, he's torn my family apart, and then this woman's dropped my kids home.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It'll be like, yeah, come.
I just don't.
Come round. Come round.
Let's go.
Come round. It's been 5 minutes.
No, I'm being serious.
Yeah.
So that takes a woman that can see past that. Wow, I respect her, because that's hard.
Yeah.
I would too. I would too. There's been situations, as I said, where people that I know and friends of mine, where the new man in that dynamic is now overexerting himself, and it gets to a situation where he's trying to talk to you in a certain way, and as the parent, the bigger person, you have to walk away. You can't succumb to your ego and be like, all right, we're gonna fight.
Scuff it out in front of the kids.
But those situations are horrible, because sometimes, imagine this, you go into the dynamic where there's a new partner, you're aware of the partner, you have a conversation with that partner, and you're like, you know what, we're cool, we actually communicate. And then over time, your ex starts to chip away and say certain things about him, and then he turns his whole approach, his whole attitude towards you changes. And that was a really like progressive, you know, partnership to raise that child. And now this other man doesn't like you, doesn't respect you as a father, even though you're turning up because your ex is saying certain things. There's so many different dynamics that can be like, that can influence how you show up as a parent and the type of boundaries that you have to implement, that it's not always going to be easy. Not going to be plain sailing. And sometimes you have to do the things, as I said, that you believe is best for yourself in that moment and your well-being as a parent, as a father, and saying, I'm not going to have this. And by saying, right, I'm not going to have this, which means, okay, I may not see my child in this situation because I'm being dictated to in a certain way, which isn't respectful. I can't put myself in that situation, because if something then happens and I react, I'm the bad person.
Yeah.
And therefore now that can be used against you, especially as a father.
Yeah.
Oh,
what a minefield.
I know, it's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
This has been really great, by the way.
I loved it.
She loves it. Look. No, Sayce, we've loved having you on. Sorry, guys. Bit of PDA going on over there. No, it's just so great to have your perspective and your views, and like it opens our eyes to kind of a different way of thinking.
It really does.
And the same from your perspective as well. But this is why these spaces are so important, to have these conversations without that emotion.
Yeah, it's really, true.
And we have to normalize this. We have to normalize this, especially with new parents and younger parents. Like, when do you have space to actually discuss things like this? You know, and this is why this platform's so amazing. You guys do such an amazing job. So
thank you.
Appreciate you guys. But it's so important. It's crucial. Got to normalise it.
This is making me laugh. She's all lovey-dovey and like, look at the grin on her face.
I know, I'm still really hot.
Yeah, no, do you know what? You're right, because we always have these conversations when you're in the depths of shit and it's going on.
Yeah.
You don't really talk about these things until you're in it, because you just don't really think it's going to happen to you. And we're all kind of like in our own little world, aren't we? Until something goes wrong, and then you do everything you can to research it then.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're fortunate to be able to have this in like stable minds without any drama. Do you know what I mean? Calm. Yeah. So Sayce, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
We'd love you to come back again.
Oh, it'd be my pleasure. I'm enjoying it.
Amazing. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We hope you loved it. Actually, before I continue, please, 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 can you subscribe? We need the subscribers. We need you to watch the full episode. We need to kind of get these views up, because I feel like these conversations are so important. And everywhere we go, people are talking to us saying, wow, don't stop, don't stop. We won't stop. You need to subscribe, guys.
Yeah. You need to give us the numbers.
Yeah, please. We're begging now, please.
Help us to help you.
So yes, please, and remember to send in your questions via the Blended Instagram, and we'll be here at the same time next week. Lots of love. Mwah.